Greetings, Naked News Guy here. Today I want to talk about punishment for petty crimes, my 46th political position. Now here's the thing, as I said in my last video, a lot of the reasons people go to jail is for stupid, minor things, okay? We put them in jail, we send them to prison, they become worse criminals, they become violent, and the reality is this, most people who are committing small crimes are doing it because they're out of money. Now the reason they're out of money could be a lot of different things, but putting them in jail, putting them in prison doesn't solve the problem. They go there, they become a worse criminal, or at the very best, they get out back in the street, they're worse off than where they started, and they're doing the same thing again, or they're doing something else. Look, a real simple solution, okay? We need to have punishments that work. Because, no, I don't believe in chaos. No, I don't believe we should be a country like Somalia, or a state like California, or a city like Chicago, where pretty much people do whatever the hell they want, and damn the consequences, because there are no consequences. It's real simple. Commit a petty crime, guess what? You're under a certain age, you go back into the national service for a length of time. You know, you go there, you have a place to live, you have food in your stomach, you have money, you get a chance to maybe learn a trade or go back to a trade, but you're doing something useful for society and you're keeping yourself out of trouble. Because apparently, you can't keep yourself out of trouble. If you're not able to go to the national service because of your age, physical limitations, things like that, then guess what? We should maybe do something like put you in the stocks. Social embarrassment works, okay? Yeah, it sounds brutal, but you know what? A guy that's stealing, you put him in the stocks for a day or two, guess what? That's going to be a more effective punishment than it will be putting him in jail for a couple weeks. Because everybody can see what he did, and they can laugh at him, and nobody likes being laughed at. You know, these are the kind of punishments we need. You know, it's not like we need to be like some Islamic country where we chop your hand off for stealing a loaf of bread. And we definitely don't need to be a place where people do whatever the hell they want, because we need rules. All societies have rules. That's how societies function. This is how it should be, you know, because there's no reason to be taking people who are mostly committing minor crimes because they're out of money and making them into worse criminals and not solving the problem in the first place. We're a society, and as a society, we have to do things to make society function. And just putting people in jail where they can become a source of income for the state is bullshit. That doesn't make society function. That is another wealth transference from the poor to the rich. You're taking the wealth of a poor man's or poor woman's labor and you're giving it away to the state. Okay? So you're stealing their labor, the one thing a poor person has. So put them in a place where they can do something constructive, they can make some money, they can get their shit together. Okay? You know, I'm the Naked News Guy here. I say things differently than a lot of people. You know, I propose solutions to problems and, again, petty punishments for petty crimes that help society. Like and subscribe for more content.